Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I am bringing you my Floral Romance gift box. As you can see, it is a drawer effect box, and ignore my little hole punches there that I put in the wrong place. But as you can see, this will fit our normal sized Whisper White cards. Our normal sized cards. This is the Whisper White envelope. I think they're C6, but it fits that absolutely perfectly. So you could either fill it with some cards. It's 1 inch thick or 2.5 centimetres thick, and you could fit quite a few in there. Or you could alternatively use it as maybe a little gift box for a scarf or something. Excuse me. Or maybe even a jewellery box. I know that I made some twine storage drawers a while back, and I remember a lady commenting on them and saying that she was looking for something similar for, I think it may have been her daughter or someone, for more of a jewellery box. And so obviously this, being the bigger size, would be ideal for that, and you'd only need to alter the thickness of it if you wanted it to be deeper. So I've used the beautiful Floral Romance vellum here. So as you can see, if I just pop my finger through there, so that's the vellum, and I do have a piece of Whisper White just underneath this top part. It's not under the rest because obviously you're not going to see the bottom really or the sides, so it is just under the top, just to show that really pretty bit off. One of the beautiful seals here, and then I've used Amazing Life with this lovely sentiment, because I just wanted something quite big and something pretty, and it's heat embossed in gold. And it's also die cut. Oh, it's not going to focus, is it, this stupid camera? Oh, let's try that. Oh, there we go. It's because a button had been moved. Yeah, as you can probably see here, we've got the stitched rectangles also. So yeah, all exciting. So I'm going to show you how to make it. And for this one, I'm actually going to use soft sea foam, because we have this other beautiful vellum here that I actually thought won't need Whisper White underneath, because that's going to look really pretty on there. So we'll start off with our base. So to make the actual drawer part, you will need a piece of cardstock that is 10.5 by 8.25 inches, which is 22 by 26.5 centimetres. And then we're simply going to score at 1 and 2 inches on all 4 sides, so that's 2.5 and 5 centimetres. And as I say, we're just going to do that on all 4 sides. And again, if you've ever seen, this is really so that we have, the double is so that we have a reinforced box. It just makes it that little bit stronger, especially if you're going to use that drawer and be sort of opening and closing it quite a bit. So it's always nice to have it reinforced. So again, if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know how this bit works, or at least you should now. And we have that ridiculous little song going off, don't we, about snip snip, wedge wedge, wedge wedge, and all of that. But yes, if it works and it reminds you, then it's brilliant. So like I said, we're just going to fold and burnish all of those score lines. I love soft sea foam, it's such a beautiful colour. I've always been a fan of mint macaron, but sometimes I don't know, sometimes I'm not a fan of it even though I like it, which sounds ridiculous. But yeah, but as soon as I saw soft sea foam, I thought this is going to be one of my favourites. So there we have our drawer part. So as I said, we've folded and burnished all of those score lines. And then in the corners, we're simply going to cut down the 2 pieces here. Then we cut away the first one and wedge, cut half of the second and wedge the opposite way, as it were, down the sides. And then we wedge this piece. So again, as I said, so we cut down the 2 sections here. And then, as I said, that silly song, sort of cut and wedge that one, because you can do it all in one. Cut off this one, and then wedge the sides of the tab there and the top of here. And then you do exactly the same on the opposite side. So cut, cut, wedge, trim, wedge, 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 and exactly the same on the last corner. Trim, trim, wedge, cut, wedge, oops, wedge, that went a little bit wonky there, and trim. So there we have it. So that's how it looks now. Before we get too excited and carried away, we're going to punch our holes into the front of our drawer. So it needs to be on the centre of the second panel here. And if you want to measure it, I mean, this is 5 centimetres, so you want about 5 inches, so you want about 2.5 inches, and then you want to try and get it halfway up there as well. So while we've got this flat, I did use wet glue on the other one because I had more time, but obviously on this one I'm not going to. So we're just going to stick our lovely tear and tape on all of these little tabs this way. So as I said, it's so with the base of your box facing up, you put it on the back of the 4 little tabs, then you flip it over, so this would be the inside of your box, and then we're just going to run this all the way across the panels here. Oops. And then because we're going to be using, oops, didn't cut that one quite properly, because we're going to be using ribbon as our little drawer open pulley type thing, we're also just going to put a small amount either side of that hole punch, just so that we can adhere that ribbon down. Okay, so that's that bit done. So I've got my gorgeous ribbon. This is the Petal Pink and Whisper White variegated ribbon. It is beautiful, it's so fine, so pretty. And so I need to cut that, and then because this is a small hole, and luckily because the ribbon is quite thin, it isn't too difficult to get that fed through. And then just use your thumb in the loop just to get it to where you want it, and that's about fine for me. I'm going to trim some excess off this because I don't need all of that, and then I'm just going to take the backing off this, and then I just simply pop my ribbon down. Oops, and likewise with this one, take that off there and lie that ribbon down. And then all I then do is just give this a very small tug just to make sure it's where it should be, and then I'll take the backing off that one and fold it over the ribbon. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder just to smooth it out. Those marks there are actually off my punch. I think I went a bit too deep down here in the punch, but it's on the inside of the card, so I'm not concerned. So that's that panel done. So then we're just going to go around and do these little side ones. So I'm just going to whizzle the backing off the tear and tape of these. That's them off. And then just tuck those inside and fold up my box. One there, and then the last one on there. And then again, just taking the backing off these parts here, and then you can just tuck that down, and then once you've done them all, you can just get that bone folder in there just to encourage that fold and the stickiness. So we just take that one off there, tuck that in too, and then, as I said, to re-encourage that fold, I'm literally just going to press down, so I'm reinforcing that score line there, but I'm also going right into the corner of the box and pushing so that the adhesive sticks, and it will just give you a tighter, a smarter crease here, and it will also just get that tear and tape sticking as well. So there we go. So there is your drawer, your pretty drawer with your pretty little loop on the front. And then to do the wrap, the sleeve if you like, of the drawer, you are going to need, sadly both of these, the drawer and the wrap part, are out of a 12 by 12 sheet cardstock, so you can only get this out of a 12 by 12 and the drawer out of a 12 by 12. But this is 12 inches by 6 5/8, and that's just to ensure there's enough there to cover the drawer. So that's 30.5 by 16.7 centimetres. And then on the long side, we're going to score at 1 inch, 2 inch, and then 6 13/16. So that's literally right up close to this end. So 6 13/16, and then 7 7/8. Random measurements, I know, but that's the only way it works. And so in centimetres, that will be 3 5.6, 17.8, and then 20.4. So then we're going to fold and burnish those beautiful score lines again. Of course, if you want to stamp this, you need to do it before you score or do anything like that. So then we need to put some tear and tape along this. Now, this is literally the width of the tear and tape in terms of overlap. So right at the edge and literally on the edge of the cardstock, there's no space for leaving any gaps or anything like that, because it is literally to the wire. So that's that bit done. Then I just want to double check that it's going to fit nicely, she says, and it doesn't. No, it does, it's fine. So there's my sleeve. So obviously now I just need to make sure, whilst it's on my box, as I do with my lids for my other boxes, just make sure that this all sits nice and straight. So that's there, and then I'm just going to fold this over, and then just make sure you're lining these parts up here. Make sure you're lining those edges up. And then just give it a little press. So there's your lid. So it fits nicely there. And so the last piece then is our vellum. Now, I don't score the vellum. It's 12 inches by 5 inches, which is 12.5 by 30. And I've got tear and tape stuff stuck to my sleeve. And simply all I do with this is, because I personally, and I'll be totally honest with you, I find it really hard getting the right measurements for any kind of matchbox style box. I know there's probably tricks and tips to it, but I just can't do it. So I find the easiest way of doing this is to simply put whatever it is on my box. So I originally made the base, and then I got my cardstock, and I simply, for this one, I did 1 inch, and then I just folded it round, marked it and measured it, because that is the only way I find I can do it. So again for this one, so I'm lining it up here with the edge of my cardstock, and then I'm just going to fold it around the edge there and just give it a small crease, and then again put it back down onto my desk and where I put that crease, just reinforce that. So we'll pop that back on, and then I do exactly the same with this piece. So I've now got another fold there, which I will just fold over, make sure it's all straight, and again just reinforce it. Pop that back on, and then the last bit is that corner. If you try not to press too hard, because obviously you will, like I'm doing here, completely misshape your box. So that's that one. So reinforce that one, and then obviously we just have the last piece here, and as you can see, it literally is the thickness of the tear and tape. And again, just fold that one round and tuck that on there. Again, make sure that it's level and give that a burnish, and this should now sit nicely on your box, unless like me you've completely, no, I haven't messed it up, there we go. And as I said, there's literally just enough room there for your tear and tape. So let's pop some of that on. And as I said, it is going right up to that edge. And trim that there. And then back on, turn it round so that my joins are in the same place, and it just makes that tear and tape less obvious if they're in the same place. And just take the backing off. Again, just make sure that we're all level. There we go. And then just press that down there. And there we have our beautiful sleeve there. Now obviously if you want to glue this down you can do, but I didn't because I think it's really pretty and I didn't want to. And so you just need to decorate it. And so I just want to grab some of my soft sea foam here, and I have my Amazing Life sentiment, this beautiful one here. So I've got that on. Grab my embossing buddy here, give that a good, a good wipe over, and then grab my Versamark, and I'm going to do this upside down just because it's a larger stamp. So I'm just going to press that all over, get that really good, and then press it onto my cardstock there. And then I have my gold embossing powder to dust over the top. Lovely, lovely. Put the lid on that before it goes everywhere. And then the last sort of thing you need to do is get your heat gun. And I've now moved it as well so it reaches. Finally. I'm hoping to move house actually. My house is up for sale. I'm waiting for someone to buy it. Simply because, yes, I do need a bigger craft room. That is very true. I currently share this room with my husband and his computer since my daughter came home. So I now have cramped space, if you like. My children are grown up in terms of being in their 20s. So we know we've kind of got 4 adults in the house, so we need a bigger house really now. So yeah, so hopefully I will have a nice new house very soon. But as we all know, these things take a ridiculous amount of time, so we'll see. So I've heat embossed my sentiment there, and these are the glorious rectangle stitched framelets. Look at all of those, aren't they beautiful? So I'm using this one, which I've sort of put slightly offset so I knew which one it was. If I can actually get it out of here. There we go. So I'm using this one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th one from the smallest. And then grab my big shot. And we're just going to run this through. And the beautiful thing with these rectangle framelets is that you get the stitching outside and inside. So obviously if you want to reuse that square you can, but it doesn't just cut out a blank square, blank rectangle. Now you actually will get a beautiful square, a beautiful stitched outer edge. So it is very pretty. This just fits with that banner just nicely. So pop that in, make sure nothing moves. And let's run it through. Ooh. And that clanking isn't the fact that I have bottles on my desk, although I have. They are, as you know, I have issues with my tripod forever sliding and falling. So I now actually use a pack of my husband's Christmas beers to hold this leg. Oh dear, honestly, if anybody could see the setup outside of this frame, honestly, we'd have you giggling and shocked, I'm sure. But yes, I have a box of 4 beers holding my tripod there. Oh dear, the things we do, the things we do. So yes, and that'll be another thing, hopefully in my new house, that I won't have to have things wedging my tripod. So as you can see, look, this is where I pulled, where I cut it out, and we've got that beautiful stitched edge here. So obviously if you wanted to make that into a card, you've still got that beautiful edge there. But obviously this that I've just die cut also has the stitching. So it's really pretty. I'm literally going to stick this on with some snail. If you want to add dimensionals or anything else, then feel free. Add whichever you like. But as I say, I just love this, and I think it's so simple, because if you wanted to give this as a gift to anyone, really, I think that is such a lovely saying. I'm so happy to have you in my life. You can fill it with a gift, as I say, you could fill it with handmade cards, whatever you wanted to. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add one of these gorgeous seals. So the Florence Romance seals, they have a beautiful big sticky disc on the back, and then it is just a case of deciding which way you want your flower to go. And I keep pulling this drawer in and out. You can see why it's reinforced now, because you keep pulling at this. If it was a normal single piece of card, it would start to bend, I think. So yes, so I've just tucked that seal on the corner there. You could add more or less to it, whichever you wanted, but that is my Floral Romance Sahara Sand Soft Sea Foam beautiful boxes. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, all these products are available in the current Spring Summer catalogue, and if you want to order them, just click on the link below and you can come and shop with me and get a little free gift maybe if you use my hostess code, and all that information is over on my blog. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Love you all lots. Bye.